Yes, yes, y'all, and you don't stop. To the beat, y'all, and you don't stop.
I'm author Shawn.
I'm author Love.
And we're here today on Conscious Convos, episode 3. So if you haven't checked out the first and second one, please go back and check those wonderful, wonderful episodes out. Leave comments, likes, email us if you want to see some interesting material, if you want us to talk about certain topics, all that great stuff. We're on number 3. We're talking about inner beauty, making us look younger, more youthful on the outside.
Yes, and then also how we feel on the inside in regards to how we act and how we carry ourselves. So yeah, it's an interesting topic, especially when we start to encounter the older generation and have conversations with them and the things that they say to us in regards to how they compare themselves to us now and themselves in their youth. So it's always interesting to have those conversations. So have you had any conversations with older people?
I've had conversations with older people, well, a blend. I've had conversations with people that were younger, that as soon as we talked, I could tell that life kind of like whipped them around. Like, you know, like they've been living longer than their age.
Okay, so like that old soul type.
Yeah, but well, not, it's an old soul, but then it's kind of like that rusted, worn out soul. Like they're tired of living and they've only been living for like 20 years.
Like they were living in the fast lane all their life.
Yeah, and I feel like that really does make a difference because when you begin to talk to them, you're looking at them and it's just like you look like life kind of just sucked you in and never let go.
Yes. And you know what? I'm noticing that a lot of people that are younger now are taking on the role of adult earlier on in life. So, you know, they're getting jobs earlier. They're starting, you know, there's a ton of different youthful people who are becoming entrepreneurs. And, you know, it's nice to see, but yeah, you know, whenever I encounter an older person, like let's say 35, 40 or older, they always have some type of comment about their youth in comparison to their encounter with me at that point. So like, for example, you know, I was talking to this older lady. She was talking about her grandkids and she was like, you know, well, if I was as young as you are, you know, I'd still be able to run after the kids and, you know, I'd still be able to do all the things that I could do in my youth, you know, if I were younger. And I told her, I was like, well, it's all in your heart. How young do you feel in your heart? You know, how much youth do you keep around you?
I've seen, there was this little post that they had on the Shade Room on Instagram, and it was this video basically of this woman. She was 65 and she was running against someone that was 20. And when they shot that gun, they were going the exact same speed. And a lot of people assume, wow, you know, 65 is old. But it's all about, for one, how you take care of yourself, and then also how you view yourself.
Right.
Because if you're telling yourself, wow, I'm old,
Yes.
then you're going to be old, you're going to act old. You know, that's just what you're telling yourself these things, so you're going to become those things. But if you stay youthful, knowledgeable, it'll keep you young. Because I've met plenty of people that are older, but the minute that they talk, it's like you never lost that vibrance and that lust for life, you know, and that's very important, you know. And if you feel as if you're in a situation or at a job or with somebody that's making you feel like life is, you know, whipping you around, sucking all the energy out of you, then you need to make that change so that you can feel life the way you should feel, which is that newness, you know, that experience.
And our society really focuses so much on looking youthful and being youthful, which can be a good thing because me personally, I don't feel like people need to be around. So, for example, you know, there's the conversation about putting our parents in a retirement home. I don't believe in retirement homes. I believe in generations being in a household because as long as you keep those generations together, the older generation always has a reflection of themselves to stay youthful, you know? So,
instead of surrounding them with a bunch of people.
Right, that are miserable and mean and, you know, or just old like themselves. It's like, no, you stay around youthful people, you stay youthful. You know?
A lot of what I've noticed also, because in my line of work we do visit nursing homes and things like that, just to entertain people that are in those situations, is that family does not visit them. So they're locked around, like we were saying, people that are older.
Yes.
So it's going to make them feel older. It's going to make them feel like they're closer to death.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly. And then they're going to die early.
You know, and that actually is in studies, that people that move to nursing homes die soon after that. Yeah. So I think it's important for us to make sure that our parents, our grandparents, all of those people in our lives are around youthful people, you know, so that they can stay youthful.
So don't put your parents in it.
Don't do that. I know that they probably get on your nerves sometimes. We all have those moments, but I would never do that to my mom.
Me neither.
Any of my parents, none of that. I just wouldn't. My grandparents, no. Like, it's just not.
Nope.
So,
Mama,
and you can
you ain't going to a nursing home. I promise.
Be frugal about that.
It is expensive. Oh my gosh. It's like a whole freaking car and a rent payment. Like, it's just way too much. And, you know,
and nobody can take care of your parents
the way that you can,
because you have that love for them. And I'm pretty sure there are some nurses out there in the nursing homes that actually care about their clients, but you have a lot of people that don't give a fuck, to put
Not
it frankly.
even.
They don't care as much.
Yeah.
So, you know, they'll go days without taking a shower. They'll have shit on their drawers. Like, you know, I'm just putting it out there. It's the truth, you know.
Yeah.
And they're left for dead, really. And it makes the person feel hopeless. They're already old as it is. You're making them feel old and closer to death. So guess what? They're going to die.
They're going to die early.
If you want your parents and your grandparents to pass away, put them in a nursing home, and that'll definitely do the trick. So,
but we hope that you don't do that.
We hope not. We hope that
really
you have
hope
a sound
not.
mind and a sound heart not to do that to the person that brought you in the world.
And, you know, young people, definitely be that ray of light for older people, because the same way that we seek knowledge from them is the same way that they seek to see a reflection of their youth through you. And a lot of the times we see that the older generation living vicariously through us is a bad thing, but in fact it's not. It's a great thing. It's your way of giving back to them for having lived the life that you're about to live, and then being able to reflect on their journey with you, the good and the bad, so that way you can know the bad things and avoid them, but also know the good things that you can experience, and then seek to experience more, you know, and then help them to experience more. Their life isn't over. The moment your life is over is when you stop breathing or you give up.
It's like a trade-off, you know. We trade to them, we give them youth, they give us knowledge.
Right.
And that's the way that it's supposed to be. That's the way that it was in earlier societies before we had nursing homes and things like that. Nursing homes, in my opinion, are more so for convenience.
It's a business.
Yeah, and so
it is a business.
I know that mom can be irritating, dad can be frustrating, but, you know, if you would like knowledge and you would like for them to live longer, you know, definitely keep them close to you.
Keep them youthful. There was this guy, we went to go look at a house, and the realtor, there's like the little attic thing, there's like an attic door, and it didn't have a pull down. So you literally had to have a ladder or something in order to push the door, you know, into the, you know, the top, you know, push the door in. And he was older gentleman, and my brother and I were, you know, looking at the house. And he was saying, he was like, you know, back in my younger days, I would have been able to jump up there, you know, but now, you know, I can't do that. And I said, well, you know, the only reason why you can is because you don't think you can, because you've gotten older, and, you know, but it's all right here. And he, you know, he was like, yeah, you know what, you might be right, you know. And I said, go ahead and try it.
He would have had to try it. No, not in my presence, because I'm not trying to get no lawsuit for telling somebody that. You try that first on your own, then we can.
Well, he was the realtor, not me. So he makes that decision. he's the knowledge that I seek. So, you know.
So you should know better.
You should know better than to listen to me.
First.
If you really. But, you know, we all know our potential. But there's so many testimonies out right now with people that are in their, you know, 80s and 70s and 80s who are getting these buff bodies. You see some of these bodybuilder men, and then these women there. I had a professor in school. She was, her name was Lady in Red, and she was just ripped, and she was in her 60s, and she was ripped, and I was just like, yo, I want to be like you. Oh, and then that really beautiful African American lady that's her photos went viral on Facebook. She like has grandchildren and great grandchildren, and she's really, really fit. She's gorgeous, gorgeous.
How old was she? Like in her 60s,
50s or 60s.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
she
then,
was older.
And then like Cicely Tyson, she's 90 something, and she looks. It's like once she hit about maybe 50, her aging just stopped, and she's still acting and all those things.
Her aging never happened. Her aging never happened.
It was just like, all right, I quit. Yeah. I can't fight against you. That
yeah.
melanin is too strong.
Yeah, let your aging work for you, you know, because
Definitely.
you're only as youthful as you feel and how you act. So as soon as, you know, you feel a bone pop and you start telling yourself, I'm getting old, then you're getting old.
Yeah.
Go ahead and get old.
So how do you feel about people that dress younger than what they look? So like a 60-year-old, because I've seen this here and there, they'll dress like they're 20. How do you feel about that?
I actually don't have a bias to where if you want to dress the way that makes you feel good, dress that way. Like, for example, you know, I used to be a lot thicker than I am, but I dressed to my body. I still would wear, you know, a little skin out. You know, I was never a person that liked to expose my chest area, you know, only for the purpose of I like to express myself in different ways. So I like to accessorize. You know, I like my shoulders. I like, you know, different ways of being that represented who I am and my personality. I like wild hair. Those are all things that make me who I am. But I don't think that that's going to change with age per se. I'm just going to get more expressive as far as who I grow into being. You know, if I grow into being a very open older woman with, you know, my sexuality and my body, then I'm gonna wear things that are conducive with that. But still, you know, me personally, I'm not very revealing. I'm not very out there as far as showing too much skin. But I like to dress to my body, and now that I'm smaller, I still enjoy, you know, I like wearing, you know, the bandos and my stomach's out a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not gonna change with age. I'm just gonna continue to express myself based on who I become. You know, I don't know if that makes any sense.
Well, see, the reason why I was asking you that was there were these pictures of Madonna in very revealing clothing, and she's like almost 60, or she's like in her mid 50s or whatever, and her shit is kind of like sagging. That's why I was asking you, because you know, I feel like there's a difference. You can be sexy at any age, in my opinion, but there's a difference between being sexy and wearing things that make you look very, very revealing or slutty at an older age, especially if things are kind of like not the same. Like if things are the same on the outside.
Was it like sloppy?
Her ass was out. It was like a thong, and she was.
Was her ass like ugly?
It was flat, like it was.
It was flat.
It was flat and saggy.
Well, that's just her body. I'm not gonna. I mean, I don't know. I didn't actually witness this picture of Madonna.
I think she looks. I'm gonna put it at the end of the, so y'all can gaze upon it.
I want to know, because I want to see what this picture looks like too.
Not to discredit her, because I think that she is a beautiful woman. She's had numerous awards, you know, and she's still youthful looking. But I feel like it's just the way that you go about it, and she kind of just it's like she's dressing like she's 20, but it's like the new 20. You know how, you know what I'm saying? Like the new 20, and that more revealing and more everything, but yet you're 30 years ahead of that. If she had the body for it, then cool, but if you don't, and the thing about it was, like, people would criticize her for it, and then she kind of like hits them back for criticizing her about it.
Well, I feel like this.
You got to be ready for it.
Did she hit him back correctly? Like, did she defend herself well?
I mean, in my opinion, I don't think so. I don't really think there's any defending that per se. Or like if you look at somebody like Janet. Janet Jackson was very sexy in her like 20s, 30s,
Gorgeous.
40s, all of that. And she's still sexy now, but she has conformed herself to her age in a sense. She's still youthful, she's still young, but she dresses in a way that's sexy, but it fits her. Like it fits her age.
In the recent years?
In the recent years,
you know why?
Yeah, because she's married to that guy. I know all about Janet.
Yeah.
She's worth $1 billion. Congratulations.
Yeah. Well, you know, he is Muslim, right? Her husband is Muslim, so of course she just has to be less revealing. But again, she still does have that sexiness about her. her. As far as Madonna goes, I think Madonna's always sort of been like that, and
With
I
the
think that
cone bra.
she's just trying to.
Trendsetter.
I think that she's just trying to uphold her youthful image. Whether or not I want to discount the fact that she's 60 in her 60s and she's still dressing like she's 20. I don't really know what dressing like 20 is, but I can understand why us as youth or, you know, people her age would feel like she needs to cover up, you know, or what have you.
I feel like it's a really good mixture. Like, for instance, if you're 60 and you have the body of a 20-year-old and you feel like you can wear such and such, well, wear it because you got the body of a 20-year-old. But if things are starting to fall, you have to either adjust the way that you're wearing stuff, number one. Number two, if you're not going to adjust the way you're wearing stuff, please be ready for those comments, especially being a public
Yeah, you
figure.
got to have good comebacks because people's punchlines these days
are
are
really,
gruesome.
and we have memes and all those different things. So, like, yeah, be prepared to be on a couple of memes. That's like me showing up in a dress and then expecting nobody to say anything to me about that. And then getting mad because somebody wants to say. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to be ready for that reaction.
Yeah.
But then also, like, I feel like for her stick was that she was sexy.
Okay.
You know?
But
it's more so embracing the inner sexiness. So, like, you should know for yourself that even if you wear a sweater, people are still going to view you as sexy because it comes from inside of you. You know, it comes from the inside. Just like being youthful, in my opinion, it comes from the inside.
So basically, you're saying dress to your body. As long as you're still feeling youthful, just dress to your body.
Dress to your body. Because people can
dress
see
appropriately.
People can see from the inside out. And that's the way that we should see people. You know, you should see people from the inside out. It's like reading a book a lot of the times. You don't, well, you do it the opposite of a book. So instead of reading the person from beginning to end, you read them from inside out.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And for her, reading her inside out, she is a beautiful, sexy individual, whether she's wearing a sweater or her ass half out. But, you know, like, you should be able to just embrace that in yourself so that you don't have to do that.
So then let me ask you, because you mentioned you know, as long as you have the body of a 20-year-old, there is one particular artist who seems to continue to dress with the same with her age, and that is Mariah Carey.
Okay.
She does have a nice body. She's still, you know, well put together. Do you feel like I know that you mentioned that as long as you have the body of a 20-year-old, do you feel like with her having kids and, you know, her having been married, and do you think that she still needs to, like, continue that, or, you know, dress with her age? Or
yeah, I mean, I would apply that to anybody. For me, like, even though Mariah Carey does have a nice body, I think she has a nice body, she doesn't have the body of a 20-year-old. And when I say 20-year-old, I mean like 20-year-old you, because we were able to see what she looked like at 20 versus what she looks like now. Even though she looks great now, her body's not the same. But
what about Beyonce?
What about Beyonce? Beyonce still looks great.
She's fine.
She's not old yet. She's like almost, was she 35?
Something like that.
Yeah, Mariah's like 46, 47.
She
like,
is?
She's old. She's old.
Time flies, man.
It does.
You know that.
But yeah.
Well, Beyonce.
Beyonce will be able to wear.
In that regard.
10, 11 years. Probably, well,
I don't
no,
know, like
I'll give
20,
it to
30.
her. 20. Yeah, I was going to be like, yeah, I'll give it to her.
She'll be a Cicely Tyson.
Yeah, she'll be one of those.
I will say that the one thing about Beyonce is, and I'm similar to her in that regard, not the same, you know, but we're not so revealing where we have to wear our boobs out in order to get attention.
And I've noticed that about her. She doesn't do a lot of that. Like, she'll do it sometimes,
even when
but
she has not. Like the little one piece on, she has like lace stockings or something in order to compensate for the amount of skin that she's showing. And
one of the things that I find interesting is that people will compare her to Rihanna and Rihanna to her, and they'll be like, well, why doesn't Beyonce wear, or she doesn't dress as well as Rihanna? But
she's
Rihanna,
dressing to her
exactly. Rihanna's how old? Like, what, 26, 27, 28, one of those?
Right.
Beyonce's almost 10 years ahead of her. So,
True.
Of course, she's still dressing sexy, but it's like a gradual progression. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's that gradual, let me adjust here, there, you know, to fit
Right.
my age,
And
in a sense.
but even their personalities are also very different.
Mm-hmm.
Rihanna is a very raw, like, this is who I am. I don't care who you think I am. You're gonna respect me for who I am. Gonna show you I am. And Beyonce's more timid. She's more, she's, you know, they're just personalities are different. So yeah, I've noticed that Nicki Minaj has covered up though.
Yeah, she has covered up.
She started to tone it down. I don't know if those costumes are just getting a little expensive or not.
I'm kind of glad that she toned it down, to be honest
too.
with you, because really, like, I feel like if you are, for instance, I think that she's physically beautiful, just like Rihanna, just like
That
Beyonce,
booty.
just like, you know, Madonna's physically beautiful, you know, those different things. When you have that, there's, you can, if you want to, you know, dress however you feel like you want to dress, but if you have that and you have that natural beauty about you, you don't need to over accentuate.
Yeah.
You know, going back to the belief that people can always tell what's really you and what's not.
Yeah.
You don't have to overdo it. You really don't. Like, I view myself as attractive. I think you're attractive. We don't need to overdo it. You know, people don't really get that. They feel like, especially being in the society that we're in, everybody's trying to overdo it. And it's just like, if you have it, you have it. There's no need to just overdo it, you know?
I mean, I feel like all I need is this and this.
Exactly. And then also, like, with makeup and women that feel like they need to cake their face on and this and that, leading into men that need makeup now and stuff like that. And it's just kind of like, you know, when are we going to embrace ourselves for who we are and stop, like, trying to put on for other people?
Yeah.
And I feel like that ties into, like, for Mariah Carey, like, she's still trying to be what other people see her as. When your voice alone kills everything.
Man, her
you know?
voice freaking blows out windows and
people still
shakes
listen to her because
ceilings
of that, because she's such a talented individual, you know.
Yeah,
and people would still listen to Madonna whether she was wearing a sweater or a tube top, just because she's, for one, she's inwardly beautiful.
Yeah.
She's still outwardly beautiful, and she has talent.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Beyonce too. You know, you
Yeah.
don't have to over accentuate that.
I agree. And so, you know, that just ties back into society's pressure that we put on people to look more youthful, opposing to feeling more youthful. So even if you look more youthful, feeling it is the most important, because then you're walking through life with confidence in who you're growing into be. I really think, for example, for me, womanhood is really important. It's a sort of graciousness that we hold of ourselves. And
Sorry about that. We had to take a break just so we could show you
break.
what Madonna looks like, so that you can have a vision of what, you know, because that was an interesting photo to me. So I was like, Madonna, you're beautiful. You don't need that.
You don't need to.
You need to do that.
Well, you know, just kind of touching on youth and tying it back into society, is we don't necessarily have to look more youthful to feel more youthful, as long as we are keeping up with ourselves and taking care of our bodies and eating well and exercising, or just going on walks and staying around youthful people. Then we could really go into our older years, or our prime, or, you know, our wise years, really enjoying our journey behind us, and, you know, just keeping youthful people around us and continuing to love on ourselves. And that'll, you know, you'll feel more better about your age at that point. So
yeah, I definitely agree. I feel like it's more so, again, an inward thing than it is outward.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to outwardly dress youthful to be perceived as youthful. It's all about what's in here.
Right. So that was Conscious Convos. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Again, we're just grazing the surface. These are all these are our novice views. However, we do back it up with research and facts, and, you know, some things are our personal opinions, and we want to hear your feedback about them, and we want to hear what suggestions you have, any feedback. So definitely
like, subscribe,
please
comment, all of those things. If you'd like for us to feature one of your ideas on an episode, please let us know.
Email us.
Definitely at consciousconvos@gmail.com. We'll post that at the end of the video as well. If you'd like to come on the show as a guest, let us know what you're interested in, and we can work something out.
We can even do FaceTime.
Definitely. I'm excited about that when we start hosting interviews and things.
Follow me on Instagram at O_love. It's OH_LUV. And on Facebook at I'm Author Love. And it'll be right under the video for you to see. And then Mr. Shawn.
And also you can follow me on Instagram as author_Shawn, SHAWN, Chris, CHRIS. And it'll be right under us as well. And then my Facebook is Shawn Christopher, author Shawn Christopher. And we'll give you all that information at the end as well.
Aight, peace,
right,
guys.
Yes, yes, y'all, and you don't stop to the beat, y'all, and you don't stop.